treasure we found in the deep roads made us a fortune. The champion moved up in the world, literally. Bought a mansion in Hightown. Everyone knew who she was now. Even the Viscount was taking notice. Bethany was in the circle now. There was nothing we could do for her. Poor girl. 3 years later, the Kунari still haven't left. The Kунari insisted they were waiting for their ship. But some of us knew better.
The compound was not meant to be permanent. There are concerns the Kунari influence is no longer contained.
Was it ever? Kirkwall has tension enough between Templar and Mage. But these Kунari, they sit like gargoyles waiting for Maker knows what, and everyone goes mad around them. Nearly 4 years I've stood between fanatics. And now, this.
Don't keep us in suspense.
Leave us. Meredith at my throat, Orsino at my heels, and a city scared of heretical giants. Balance has held because the Kунari ask for nothing. Even the space in Lowtown was a gift to contain them. But now, the Arishok has requested you. By name. What did you do?
I can't help it if I make an impression.
Apparently not. I remember how you helped my son. It seems you are meant to have influence above your station. Speak to the Arishok. Give him what he needs to keep the peace. Can you do that for Kirkwall, Sirrah Hawk?
Any idea what I can expect?
None. Honestly, I don't think I've heard 2 direct words from the Arishok. Other than his rather deliberate phrasing of begone. If you think his asking me to notify you of this is strange, well, you would be right.
Sounds like you'd be better off without this headache.
They will not leave, and we don't have the resources to force the issue. At least, not in a way that would leave the city intact. If they had come to conquer, I suspect they would have done so.
Have the years been kind to Seamus?
He is his own man. But your actions tempered him somewhat. He's not so angry at the world. I thank you for that. I may not agree with him on many things, but I am proud of what he is becoming.
I've seen hate for them, but I haven't heard anything major in years.
Zealots are bravest where their lies can't be argued, behind closed doors. Chantry leaders see Kунari beliefs as a challenge, not an attack. But the message gets muddled among casual adherents. I'm certainly not equipped to argue the fine points of faith.
The Kунari usually arrive as conquerors. Odd that this has gone on so long.
Very, and I have no interest in antagonizing them. That is partially why I suffer being a messenger today. A treaty exists, and it has been honored. Although...
You have doubts?
They claim they're waiting for a second ship. But it has been 3 years. They want something else.
I'm always willing to assist.
Well, that is an attitude this city has lacked for a long time. Appease the Arishok. Take his demand and let him return to dormancy. As awkward as this has been, it is better than the alternative.
Oh, there you are. I've been looking everywhere for you, Messiah. If only you humans didn't all look the same.
We can't all be short and bearded like your people, Bowden.
Indeed. It's quite a shame, really. I came to deliver this to you. The last of the proceeds from all that treasure you found in the deep roads. It seems your friend Varric found a buyer after all, yes? Quite well done.
So you raced here just to give me this?
Oh, I didn't want to be responsible for so much coin. Just holding that purse was making me sweat. Before I go, may I simply say how grateful I am that you've allowed my boy to stay in your home. I said I would repay you for saving Sandel's life, and I shall serve you faithfully. It is good to know he is safe.
I didn't ask you to be my manservant, Bowden.
But I owe you a debt, and after what happened in the deep roads, I have no other way to repay you. I'll leave you to your adventures. Your mother asks that you return to the mansion when you have a chance.
Sirrah Hawk.
Yes?
Last we met, I did not know your name. Did not care to. You have changed your fortune over the years. The Kunari have not. I offer a courtesy, Hawk. Someone has stolen what he thinks is the formula for Gatlock. You will want to hunt him.
Excuse me, but this sounds like quite the feat.
It was allowed. The stolen formula was a decoy. Sarkamek, a poison gas, not explosives. A small amount is dangerous enough to your kind, but if made in quantity, perhaps by someone intending to sell it.
That merchant, Javaris.
Would he be cautious? Or would he assume success and make enough to threaten a district? A courtesy, Hawk. You will want to hunt him.
So, how dangerous does this fake mixture become?
It is not a threat to Kunari. For your kind, it is as dangerous as those who breathe it.
No riddles, please.
The gas kills, but first it turns allies against their own in blind rage. So, the greater the skill of those sent against us, the more dangerous they become to their own people.
And you thought this was a good idea?
It is no longer our problem.
I barely spoke to you 3 years ago. Why give me this warning?
You are capable, but I have yet to decide if you are capable of understanding. Save your streets from this fool dwarf, then we will talk.
So you just leave the decoy laying around?
We did not make it easy. 3 Kunari died defending it, enough to impart a sense of worth. If the real formula were at risk, Akun would demand that we protect it to the last of us.
It took Javaris long enough to come up with this. Are you sure it was him?
Others have asked for the Gatlock, but only he chose to delude himself beyond no. Is 3 years so long to a hateful fool? I have no way of understanding such weakness. His crime seems obvious. Further evidence could be the deaths of many. I wouldn't wait.
Any idea where we can find Javaris?
I heard about a sell-off. Merchant territories and such. They don't do that unless someone left in a hurry. I'd have figured he'd rooked some noble. He's sure not a burglar.
Just tell me where he is.
I haven't kept up on the squirt. Ask the coterie.
Panahedon, Hawk. It will be interesting to see if you die.
You're selling the assets of Javaris Tintop?
We are. Limited districts, limited contracts. Keeps territory clear and separate from the start. He had a meager lot, but he's skipped with dues outstanding, so up it goes.
Sounds like he's made a few friends. Can one of them point me his way?
Ask that about anyone else, I'd have you thrown out. This one, he owes me too. Javara's left in a hurry. I'd put him at Smuggler's Cut if he's avoiding patrols. It empties at a cave outside town. Tell him I said, don't come back.
That any way to greet an old friend?
You? Granny's garters, she would hire you. I can't buy a break on discount. You know what? Go ahead. Take my head and pike it back to that sodding elf. I need the rest.
What in blazes are you talking about?
But you don't know? Then what? You're tracking for the Kунari? Then she did it. That elf got them after me for nothing. Bitch born.
I knew he was no burglar. We're not climbers.
Look, I'm minding business, same old. And out of the blue, some elf tries to kill me. Says she's got the Kунari powder and I'm her cover. I slipped her, hired some bodyguards, and ran for it. And now you're here. Great.
So far, all I see is you.
Leaving the other person behind is the first step in running away. Sorry if that's inconvenient. Here. Want to drag Dark into light? I had a man follow her. The elf's in Lowtown. I just want to get out with my dead guards. Thanks for that.
Sounds like you have a long way to go. Hopefully.
Right. Got me a rosy future to plan out. Think I'll start by selling some boots. Sodding bunch of... Take a long breath on a short shaft, you blasted doglord inroaders.
All of you, I can't fight the damned air. You want to live, stay out.
What's going on, Mason?
Guard Captain, there's... I can't even describe.
On your time, son.
Reports of some haze with a stench of rust and throw-up. There was a cloud, then a lingering mist. Anyone caught in the cloud just went mad. Then the others just wretched themselves dead.
All right, keep your post. We'll take it from here. He's a good man. Trust that it's as bad as he says.
Let's hope this elf didn't try to make enough powder to sell.
Didn't sound like a merchant to me. Let's go.
So, your fault, I presume?
Is that... Sirrah Hawk? You have enemies. I'm glad it's you, really. These poor people. You are a much better target.
So, care to explain your particular brand of crazy?
Kунari take my people. My siblings forget their culture, then go to the Qun for purpose. We're losing them twice. So I get some help from your people. We'll take the Kунari thunder, make some accidents, and make them hate it. But this is all wrong.
You were going to kill people anyway. That's not funny at all, really.
It can still work. They're hidden in your city. They'll enrage the faithful and make sure the Kунari are blamed. Me, I'm finished. I just need a few more bodies. A few more.
I'll cut you open!
So, I was wrong about our thief.
You'll get used to it.
They say we were careless with our trap, that this is our fault. But even without the Sarkamek, there would have been death. This elf was determined to lay blame at our feet. Selfishness, want, denial. How do you allow this to continue?
If you dislike Kirkwall so much, why haven't you left?
Since we arrived, I have seen nothing but greed and weakness. Dwarves, humans, elves, just festering. No order, no goal. You are one of the few I have met with any ability. And yet this too was random, a result of selfishness. I cannot fathom how a mire like this can be justified. You say we should leave, but how can you bear to stay in this chaos?
My welcome to the city was not so different from yours.
And yet you suffer it.
It's an opportunity to make a real difference.
Karastan are soldiers. The Qun made it so. They can never vary from that assigned path, never be other than they are meant to be. But they are free to choose within that role, to accept and succeed, or deny and die. Glory is clear and defined. Could not this entire city benefit from that certainty? How else will you know when you have made a real difference?
He's free to choose to obey. That isn't contradictory to you.
He chooses to be, as do we all, long before any of your meaningless freedoms are presented. Your kind may force our role to change, if the Qun demands.
She was angry to see her people losing their culture by claiming yours.
We accept those who submit to the Qun. The weak naturally seek the strong. It doesn't matter. We did not come equipped to indoctrinate. I am here to satisfy a demand you cannot understand.
It's taking long enough.
It will take as long as needed. No ship is coming. There is no rescue from duty to the Qun. I am stuck here.
That is not the understanding of city leaders and their supporters.
Let them rot. Filth stole from us. Not now, not the Sarkamek. Years ago. A simple act of greed has bound me. We are all denied Parvolin until I alone recover what was lost under my command. That is why this elf and her shadows are unimportant. That is why I do not simply walk from this pustule of a city. Fixing your mess is not the demand of the Qun, and you should all be grateful! Thank you, human, for your service. Leave.
That's an Oxman ready to charge. The Viscount should know.
Years of nice, quiet anxiety. Gone. Along with a whole street.
An accident on purpose, more or less.
Right. A mad elf pushed by zealots, likely hidden in the very groups I have to appease. The Maker has a grand sense of humor. And the Arishok. I suspected he had no plans to leave. I didn't know it was just as annoying for him.
Keep the worst of them off his back, and it'll be all right.
But that is the problem. It has already escalated, despite your efforts. A shame.
Do I want to hear what happened?
A Kунari delegate and entourage paid me a visit. It was civil, tentative, hopeful. They left my chambers with precision, but were not reported by the outer guard. They are missing almost literally from my doorstep. What do you imagine will be the Arishok's reaction?
We need to get out in front of this, and fast.
I feel I've been trying to turn a stampede for some time now. Someone is pushing very hard. Speak with Seneschal Brown. Then you will see why I cannot trust anyone else with this.
You have information about the missing Kунari?
I am to help you, yes. Viscount Dumas would appreciate discretion in this matter. I would prefer that you were not involved at all. But that is neither here nor there.
Has anyone reported this to the Kунari?
Maker, no. I'd be signing the messenger's death warrant. He'll find out soon enough, of course. And when he does, the Viscount is rightly concerned that the illusion of peace will dissolve.
The Arishok is growing violent. He might want an excuse to end this peace.
I suspect that if the Arishok wanted to take over, he simply would. For all we fear that heretical Qun of his, its demands have done more to keep him in check than any of our efforts. Besides, would Kунari stoop to trickery? There is no precedent, but there is unfortunate evidence of influence on our side.
It sounds like you don't want them found.
I must think of what is best for the Viscount's office. Bringing attention to such an incident benefits no one.
You would do nothing?
The Kунari are neutral hostiles at best. There is no relationship to salvage by overextending ourselves on their behalf.
I'm having a hard time picturing the abduction of a Kунari entourage.
Unfortunately, they were not at their best. Their swords were tied into their sheaths, as I advised. It seemed a respectful compromise. Even I know you cannot separate a Kунari from his weapon.
So where would you start, if you were the starting type?
I would begin with the most obvious failure. It's clear the city guard has no excuse for allowing this, unless they were involved.
Have any failed to report?
Several. You should start with one of them. Although where you find a swordsman so eager to sell his honor and duty, I'm sure I don't know.
The Hanged Man. Hanged Man.
Got to be.
Right. Then you know what to look for. I can't imagine this has occurred without notice. There is always a weak link. Please keep...
Rich spending. It's a bit over your head, isn't it?
That's right, pal. Tonight I'm paid and blessed. And all I had to do was turn my head. To all my friends. Hey, step back. I know important people. We're gonna show this city what to do with heathen Oxman.
Guard Captain, would you like to have a word with your man?
Guard Captain?
Who?
What?
Who?
Who what? I don't...
Who bought you? Who bought the honor of a proud guard of Kirkwall and made him a drunken Mabari bitch?
I don't know. He was a Templar, I swear. He had the seal of the Grand Cleric and everything. It's true.
The penalty for abandoning your post is 10 days on the wall. I expect you to report in the morning. There's your answer. A Templar.
With the Grand Cleric's seal, no less. Well done.
So you're taking the Captain of the Guard to accuse the Grand Cleric of funding zealots?
Don't forget the kidnapped Kунari. That too.
Some days, Houk.
The Grand Cleric, please. Tell her... 3 Kунari leave an estate. And let her finish.
Sarah Houk.
Sister Patrice.
Mother Patrice. Time has changed us both. Grand Cleric Elfina cannot grant an audience to just anyone. What do you want?
Funny how you and issues with the Kунari seem to go together.
And you always assume their side. I was naive when last we met. I did not want you dead, but I felt a death was necessary. That may be too fine a point for you to understand, but you must admit, you came out the better for it.
I know you. And I know someone is abusing the Grand Cleric's seal.
Who are you to question who serves her grace? I am sorry, but I see no reason to let you pass.
How about the fact that her authority was used to abduct Kунari? A pause that says you knew. But does her grace?
The Grand Cleric trusts her stewards to enact the wishes of the Maker.
It sounds like you've been bad. This will shock her grace, no doubt.
Stubborn. All right, Sirrah Hawk. If you won't abandon this, let me offer you something. The Templar you seek is a radical who has grown unreliable. Confronting him may do us all a favor.
And his relation to you is?
He is my former bodyguard, Ser Vonel. Assume what you wish, but I offer him to you as reconciliation. Meet me at this location. I invite you, Sirrah Hawk. Come see the unrest these Kунari have inspired.
Have to hand it to this Varnell. Nice place for an extremist rally.
Patrice is here somewhere.
That's great.
They are absent from the eyes of the Maker.
Like any beast, remove the fangs and it is lost. They are weak before the faithful of the Maker. The only certainty in their precious Qun is death before the righteous.
Ser Vonel!
Take a knee, faithful. The Chantry blesses us.
You claim a blessing when you have used the authority of the Grand Cleric so openly? You have brought wrath down upon you. You remember, Sirrah Hawk? The Kунari have friends, Templar. How will you answer their allegations?
You want to fight? Face someone whose weapons are not bound.
Righteous! Destroy them!
Not doing anything! Useless! Let's finish this! Keep this up! Now you fall! Let's finish this! That's enough!
All right. Time to bring this mess to the Viscount's attention.
Madness! Madness!
That's a word for it.
Chantry involvement. Even if they are fringe elements. Oh, it could not be worse. You killed them? All of them?
A mother serving the Grand Cleric allowed this to happen.
Are you quite sure? She held a blade with them? Told them to fight you?
No, I cannot say that.
Of course not. Blasted mother. You have no idea the storm these allegations would cause. It would destroy what support I do have.
This may have scared her off. She claimed this was not her intention.
Well, that is something. I will make my inquiries. Gently. And you should be careful in your associations. For now, we have other problems. We have the delegate, but I can't return the bodies to the Kунari in this state. Sirrah Hawk, you know the Arishok. What should I do?
Hiding this would only make it worse.
It would, wouldn't it? I'm losing my sense of how to balance this nightmare. I appreciate your help in this matter. As bad as this is, it could have been much worse without you. Kirkwall owes you. I owe you.
Miss me?
Sirrah Hawk, it is good to see you. The shame that Varnell brought his order is most unfortunate. Praise the Maker that you were his champion in that dark place.
Look, we're both adults here. Can we drop the pretense?
I think you'll find that I have said nothing threatening or untruthful.
You and your careful language.
I gave you what you wanted at considerable cost. Varnell is more manageable as a martyr, but his loss will be felt. You have avenged heretical Kунari with human blood. Surely that is good enough for you.
It might be if you were going to give this up. But you're not.
Varnell was a fool, but the facts remain. An offense to the Maker goes unchallenged. I will give you no further cause to shame the Chantry today, but we will have this argument again. The Viscount's incompetence all but guarantees it.
Sometimes, you just know trouble is coming.